so today will be practical. I'll do a lot of I'll talk a little, I'll show a little of slides, but it'll be mostly practical. And I hope at the end of this session you all be able to take away a few tips and tricks to maximize your output. Um, let's see. Yeah, one more thing. We're going to be using ChatGPT today, just because it's one of the most popular platforms. So if you have you can just open it on your screen on the side. We'll be doing some customizations. And also, yeah, if you don't, you can just sign up quickly. It takes like 2 minutes to sign up. All right, so let's get right into it. I will share my screen now and talk about, let's see. I hope I'm sharing the right screen. Can you see the slides?
Yes, your slide is up. You can see
Okay,
it.
cool. So as we go along this, I will just show, or you would even see some areas that I've used generative AI. I'll point them out and I'll show you how that I use them. So today, the goal is that we take away a couple of points. I'll talk a little about LLMs, how they work. We'll do some customizations, how to organize your workspaces inside of the chat, and also we'll create a custom GPT together. And I think, yeah, we'll do one or two projects. So about me, a lot of you on the chat probably know me already. Some of you do, but just a few things about me. I created this. It was just this morning, 5 minutes. I was trying to get a picture of how to introduce myself. So I just typed this in ChatGPT and put a photo. I didn't actually type. I used the voice prompt bot, and then I just talked about the things that I like, my profession, what I do, and I asked for an image that puts everything together. So this is me. I'm a project manager. I work with a lot of technology teams. I help organizations maximize value. So you can see this is me with my ideas on my computer. I love technology. I love AI, I experiment with a lot of AI tools. I love the ease that technology brings. I play tennis. You can see that's captured here. One of my dream is to own a beach house. So I'm working like in front of a beach house.
I mean, I'm actually looking for the tennis part.
You are, are you seeing the picture? There's just a racket here and a tennis and a
Okay, I
ball.
see. I see. I see it now.
So, but yeah, when I saw this output, I was like, no, this is not what I want. What I originally wanted was like a picture of me in the center and then me doing other things. But I was in a hurry and I was like, okay, I'll take this. This just consolidates everything into one. So there's a racket here. And then there's a picture because I also mentioned that I have a kid that keeps me busy, an amazing daughter, and this is supposed to be my daughter in the frame. So yeah, that's about me. Currently I teach AI. That's something I'm starting to do now. I teach how to use some of these tools, specifically the responsible and ethical AI part of it. And so as I talk today, I will incorporate some of that into what we're going to learn. So and then after I did this, just because I was in a hurry, I decided that I was going to create a custom GPT just that can create a vision board and separate pictures. So you just put a prompt and it separates the pictures and you can get a full vision board. We might do that. Maybe we might do that sometime in January as a kind of vision casting. But those are some of the things when lately when I start to realize if there's something I do a lot of like repeatedly, I immediately think about how to customize it, how to so that I can reuse and I don't have to start over all the time. So that's about me. Today is what we're really talking about is how to reduce burnout overload. There's a lot going on, endless emails in your inbox. You have back-to-back meetings. There's so many tasks. And the goal here is that you plus AI, not AI and then a little bit of you somewhere. So it's you at your core with your values and your ethics using the systems to create an output to maximize your output. So your content and your ideas are still they're like in the fore. It's being able to customize the systems to to work for you in the way that you want it to, in a way that increases your productivity. And that's what we'll do today. So AI, how has AI evolved over the years? It's not, I mean, there's been several use cases of AI, and today we're at this point where one of them, like generative AI, is really growing fast and really changing the way that we live as humans. But it's evolved over, over a number of years from, and it all starts with data, like having data. Now there's tons of data. Every click is data. Every click, every like on social media, every sensor, whatever, if you have an Apple Watch, everything around us is collecting data. And so there's enormous amount of data out there, which is powering the systems. And it's also evolved like analytics, started with just simple, just looking at what has happened in the past, but now we're able to kind of think about what's going to happen in the future from past data. And then we also have predictions, algorithms, kind of translating logic into code. And all of this form the bedrock of this AI systems that we see today. And as all of this has grown, as we have a lot more computing power, we'll see that's what's, kind of just driving the systems now. And then we have machine learning. All of this are like a bedrock or components of this foundational models that we have today with the GPT currently, like GPT 3.5. So that's how AI has evolved over the years. And there have been different use cases. So first it was using it for specific tasks. Like we have the very popular recommendation systems that drive social media and Amazon's business model. So those were specific areas, and we have the Google Translate, and we have the simple spam filter. And so on the horizontal level, and then on the vertical level, you have AI being deployed with medical diagnosis, a lot, a lot of research. We find AIs can really help with even early detection of diseases now. Self-driving cars, those are vertical specified areas and for detection as well. So, but now we have this foundational model which can do more, which is multimodal. So that means it can do multiple things, text generation, image, different use cases. So what's happening now is these foundational models are now
Naomi.
customized for different use cases like customer support, code assistant. Lawyers now use it to write their briefs. So all of this, and so what we're going to learn today is how, as on an individual level too, you can take these models, these foundational models, you can utilize them and customize it to your specific use case. What I'm trying to conscious of time, so because I know we're just gonna go straight into the practical work. I'll pause a little bit to see if there are any comments or questions so far. Okay, no.
Good question. What are foundation models?
Sorry, I didn't catch the question.
What are foundation models?
That's a good question. So these are okay, I think I'll talk about it. So there are like you have GPT 3.5, which ChatGPT runs on. So they are, and I think they're based off, they're like big machines that have the capacity to be multimodal. So they can do multiple tasks at the same time, simultaneously. And they came from I was trying to look, okay, I don't have it here. They came from the paper attention is all you need. That's one of the scientific papers that created the transformers. So these are kind of like they're transformers, and so this is like a machine, a big machine that can be customized for different. So they're transformer, they're a type of technology. They use the transformer architecture to kind of run. So there are really big models that can be specialized. So for instance, now you can just take this model and customize it for any other use case, for even any of these specialized models. So they're bigger, they utilize bigger computation power, they're bigger machines that can now do everything. So all of this
So
generative.
basically, if I look at like ChatGPT, that's considered a foundation model.
Yes, it is considered foundation model. Yeah, like so it's run, so OpenAI, ChatGPT is run on the transformer architecture GPT 3.5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, yeah. So that's that. And there are different foundational models, like Claude is another one, Llama is another one. I think we now have GPT-4. Llama is another one. They're different foundation models. So a lot of these are the big models. So if you see today, there are lots of agentic AI. People run a lot of systems, they run a lot of applications. They're all based off of these foundation models. So people just take a part that is applicable to their business, because these models can do multiple different tasks, as opposed to in the past we can only just tweak them to specialized models.
Thank you. And that explains it.
Yes.
Sorry, so excuse me, adding to what you said, so Gemini is also part of the foundational model.
Yes, Gemini is also part of a foundational model. And so that's why you see a lot of companies deploy, I don't know, people, depending on the type of the model, you notice a lot of companies like Gemini, for instance. Some of my organizations use Gemini, depending on, some of them are safer, some of them, like there's a big difference between ChatGPT and Claude, the way the system prompts are. Chat maybe does pretty much the same thing, but then the way their prompt, the system prompts. So ChatGPT is like very carefree, friendly. Claude is like more professional and safe. There are some questions you ask Claude that it won't be able to answer just because of the way the system is prompted. And you can get answers to that question, ChatGPT. Same thing with Llama. So they all just have some, just depending on how they're prompted. But it's the same transformer architecture technologies that they use. Okay, I'll just keep going. So what do these LLMs actually do? I think so. I was talking about the paper, the scientific paper that has been today. That paper, Attention is All You Need. I think it was put together by a couple of Google researchers, and to date, that is the top cited paper. Even it's got more attention than when the internet came up. So it's growing at such an astronomical rate. And the whole idea is they realized or they discovered that rather than focusing on, like, for instance, the way that the system works, rather than just it will be like if you just put a prompt, it will just be very restricted to certain words. But with the transformer architecture, they realized that the computer can just pay attention to just important specific words and then compare it to all of the data that it has, and it will give you the output for what you need. So what all of the systems are basically doing is they're like prediction machines. They're just predicting the next possible word. They have a lot of data, and so they compare what they focus and put their attention on specific words, and then they compare it to the data, and they give you the next possible word, which is why we talk about hallucinations, because whatever, you have to cross-check the results that you get, because it could be hallucinating and could have picked something from somewhere else. And it's important to note, so when Bola was asking about what the LLMs do, it's important to note that they're called GPTs, and it means generative pre-trained transformers. The G part, the generative part, means because there are codes in the background, there's system prompts that tells them what to do. So the generative means it's going to generate content for you at all costs. So not considering if it's true, if it's the truth or ethics or anything, it's going to just generate whatever it can. And even when it's wrong, it will always generate something for you. Lately, you'll see some systems will say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. But generally, they're generative. So it will always generate. So whether they're generating an image or a text, it's meant to be generative. And then the pre-trained they're all pre-trained on different data. A lot of them, like ChatGPT, is pre-trained on a lot of things from the internet, articles, books. And so that just makes it biased because there's certain data it's been trained with. So you, as an individual, if you're working with it, obviously most times it won't have the data that you need. So unless you're just looking for general data that's out there in the internet that it's been trained on, then you have to augment the data. You have to provide context, which we'll see how to effectively do that as in the practical as we go. And then I think I talked about the pre-trained part, and then the T part is a transformer architecture, which I explained. So if there's anything I want you all to take away, is the fact that these are just simply predictive machines, and there is also a black box to it. There are things we don't even know what they're capable of doing. And so the takeaway is that these are just predictive machines. They're not humans, they're not experts. They have the combination of knowledge, which is restrictive. So just take away that these are predictive machines. And I say that because sometimes we forget, and sometimes I forget. And you're probably a lot of people now take ChatGPT as their therapist, and then you're doing therapy with ChatGPT. It's whatever you're getting is definitely going to be skewed or biased, or a couple of things. Don't take medical advice. It's just predicting the next possible word. So So that's the first level of awareness, which will inform how you can customize it to work for you. So they're subject to hallucinations. Some of the information can be out of date, definitely, depending on what year or when it's been trained to. And there are definitely a lot of bias with the system. So some key things is that you're accountable for the output. So wherever, and at work, I think it might be a little bit controlled at work. So you have the responsibility to cross-check what the output is. And then we're emphasizing intelligent augmentation, not replacement. So don't let the AI take over completely. Don't go to ChatGPT and just say, oh, create an email for me. Always go in with a first draft, and then it can just give you more ideas to touch upon it. Okay. And then just some no medical, legal, or therapy advice. Never use AI for processing sensitive personal data and targeting by protected traits. So if you go to ChatGPT right now, you'll see if you delete your chats or any chats that you delete, they'll tell you, or if it's a temporary chat, they'll tell you after like 30, they're gonna delete it from their system completely after like 30 days. Let's see. I think Bola, do you have your hand raised? Or was that from before?
Yeah, quick question. It has to do with the therapy part of it. My understanding is that recently, um, some of these foundation models have started incorporating some safety measures around the therapy part of the is that something that is already implemented, or is it just are they just in a talking stage?
Clearly, clearly tó ń bèrè báyìí.
So the question is, the therapy part of ChatGPT, because it's been in the news lately that a lot of kids are using, and a lot of people, mostly kids, are using ChatGPT or the foundation models as therapists to replace any therapist. Is this, I know that ChatGPT specifically, OpenAI specifically, has tried to address it. The question is, have they addressed it, or is it still an ongoing conversation that they will address it? Do you have any idea of that? I just a thought process. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's a good question. What I will say is, I don't know if they've addressed it. There's a lot of things ChatGPT does not address. But my recommendation will be like if I would use it for therapy, I wouldn't use ChatGPT. It would probably be Claude, for instance. So like I mentioned with the system prompts, Claude is known for being safe. It's trained, the kind of data that is trained with can probably suit for therapy. Claude will not, like we've heard a lot of cases where maybe some people committed suicide because ChatGPT, there's a way you can turn around the prompt, even if it refuses, but there's a way you can turn around the prompt. So ChatGPT is kind of notorious for that, but maybe check some other, like, I wouldn't recommend anybody use ChatGPT or any of these LLMs for therapy anyway. But they can be very effective. It's just, like I said, with bias, what the results, if you can have a custom GPT that you customize for therapy. and you put a lot of you attach a lot of, you put more context, you put a lot of more documents, like you could, sorry, let me try to put this person on mute. So you can have a custom GPT where you have even what maybe some therapy frameworks that people use that are very, you know, effective, and then you attach that. So the problem is that where is the data coming from? Remember, it's just computer. So if you just leave it and just go and just start typing for therapy, it will bring a lot of sources from the internet. It will advise you based on the internet, based on the data that it's stored. But you can have a customized GPT that with how whatever frameworks for therapy that you want, and then it's getting all of the data from there. But I wouldn't advise that you use it for therapy. It's whatever the result is going to be biased. I know right now, it's been going on for about 2-3 years, and you know the New York Times has been in litigation with ChatGPT, and I think even Microsoft Copilot. I think Gemini too. And right now, I think a couple weeks back, they finally decided to make people's records public, because ideally when you use ChatGPT and all of this, your data is supposed to be safe. And I'll talk about that. I'll talk about how to.
Thank you so much. I think I got the answer.
Okay, you got to just, yeah, okay. So the data is supposed to be safe, but if there are legal restrictions, no one is, so all of this, if you turn on the training if you turn on, there's something you could turn on and they use your data to train, or even if they're not using it to train, there are exceptions to your data if there's like with this, if there are legal restrictions, if the police if they need it for anything, that's how they find out like whether maybe someone died. They go back and search. So all of this, if you're a private person, if there's something you need to protect, there's information you need to protect, I generally advise not to do therapy or take legal advice or medical advice from the system, because even if they're supposed to be safe, even if you're supposed to have some guardrails, there are exceptions. So right now, because the New York Times is claiming that the ChatGPT used their information, all of their articles to train the GPT, and so they right now, I think ChatGPT is just doing like a random. So they pick people randomly, they pick accounts randomly, and they have to share those accounts and the chat histories with the lawyers in the New York Times, and they're just going to go through. They're trying to validate that some of this, that once you put your prompt, sometimes depending on the prompt, it would actually bring directly the content from the New York Times. So there's a lot of privacy and policy. And that's what I'm trying to say. These systems are not as safe as we think they are. Or if you have nothing to lose, you can just keep on using it. Otherwise, and refrain from processing sensitive personal data. And also, if you use any of these tools, if you're using a free version of any of these tools, they're definitely training with your data. So what you're giving in exchange is your data. Even if they don't say it explicitly, that's what's happening. And so what are some safety checklists? Oh yeah. I hope that this will be interactive. And so if you have any questions or you even have comments, because I know a lot of us here are in this space, we're learning a lot about AI. If you have anything to add or like comments, I'd like for you to share. So I have a safety checklist. And this could be applicable for organizations to like who reviews when you use these tools, what if there's sensitive data, you don't want to put sensitive data, what stays human, how do you verify, and maybe sometimes you have to disclose like that you used AI in some of your chats. There's some, I think like in LinkedIn or some other tools now, they will ask you if the content you're posting is, if some of it is AI augmented. So I think I'll pause here and I'll go to ChatGPT. And before we start with the prompt formula, I want to show how to start to customize the system. And let me paste, I'm going to paste this. You can follow along or you can use it after you, maybe after this. I want to paste this in on the chat. It's like a cheat sheet to what I'm showing right now. I'm not able, okay, I can find it. Okay, so I put the Google sheet. Let me know if you're not able to access it. So I'm seeing a question in the chat. Yeah, so Laurent, that is going to probably be a different session. This one is to, this particular session is to set the stage. I want everyone to take a step back. We've all been using these tools. I want us to take a step back and with the awareness that we have, I want us to customize. So no matter what you use as you do, say, agentic AI, you'll need to understand this simple, important customizations. So that'll probably be another session, but definitely some prompts. I'll show how to build some custom GPTs that you can use to do some of this tasks that you talk, some of this project management tasks for portfolio management. So once you get the idea, you'll be able to just translate whatever it is that you need into whatever you need into. So, okay, so let's start. So the first thing I want to show, this is, I don't know, maybe some of us might not be home, but do we have access to open up ChatGPT? Is anyone on their ChatGPT? So I want you all to follow along. I'm waiting for responses. Are you able to follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Who else is able to follow?
Sorry, I'm not following. Did you want us to follow the instructions in the link you shared?
No, so keep that if you need it. But I want you all to open your personal ChatGPT.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and then maybe just follow along as I go.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a Zoom link on my computer. I've been on the phone since, so I'll open it up. Right, so ChatGPT is open, but I need to switch my Zoom link to the laptop.
Okay, great. Thank you. So what I'll be showing now is organization. A lot of you have heard, oh, use ChatGPT for this, use ChatGPT for that. But the truth is, once you get here, you can just get overwhelmed. Like, how do I organize this? Where do I start from? And like I said, this is all about communication. You're communicating with the computer. You're having conversation. So this will prepare you to have effective conversations with the system. A lot of this, I keep saying system prompts because this ChatGPT, as it is, it has system prompts. So the way you put prompts and say act as this so, they also have their own prompts that tells what they're supposed to do, that defines the boundaries and guardrails. So you have to be effective. You have to be able to communicate in a way that the system understands. So this will help to set the stage. With security, I want us to start with security. So I'm starting now. I'm assuming that you're all following along. With the security, like one of the first things is if you will be using this frequently, and I recommend that you do. So this is very useful for people that have their businesses, you have ideas, you're trying to get out your ideas, you're trying to automate tasks so that you're not doing them over and over again. If you're trying to be out there in the public and put out your content, this will be very helpful for you. So you can just have those have this customized for you. So the whole idea is for this GPT to learn about you, to know. So you're going to feed it like, what are your values? What do you care about? How do you want? So you're teaching this how to think, because like I mentioned, this is like wild, wild west, where there's so much data, like trillions of data it's been trained with. So you have to be able to guide it. So this now is what we're doing right now, is customizing this GPT for you. And you can do this with Claude too. It might just be a little bit of different, but the same idea. So now we're customizing it to work for us. So if you're a business owner or a thought leader, you're going to train the computer or train the GPT to learn about you, so that whenever you just come and put a prompt, it already understands where you're going, it knows what you want. So we'll start with security. So this is I'll go to settings. This, you'll see when you try to create this for the first time, it looks like, okay, so this is, yeah. So go to data controls, and in that wherever that Google Sheets. Can everybody open are you able to access the Google Sheets? I want to know if I need to grant access.
Yes, I could have access it.
Okay. So in that sheet, you can look at it later if it has the details. So the first thing you want to do is go to data controls, and it sounds very innocent, like we're improving the model for everyone.
I don't have access to the Google Sheet. I don't see the Google Sheet link, or rather.
Oh, it's
Can you
in the
share it
chat.
again?
Let me send it again.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So I just posted it again in the chat. So it seems very innocent, like improve the model for everyone, but it makes sense, because the way you notice how I've been using this for like probably 3 years, and every day I notice how smarter it is. And this is because it requires data, live data. They're introducing to live data to continue to train the model. So, but I recommend you turn it off. But if you have sensitive, whether you have I recommend you turn it off, because this means they're not, OpenAI will not train with your data, because it means whatever you're chatting, like if you make a mistake and there's sometimes I just think I've identified every information, but it still pops up. But if this is off, I know that there's no risk of my data being out there. Although for me, I don't think it matters, but I think we should just turn this off, improve the model for everyone. You'll
How did
start
you
to
get to the
see.
data control?
So if you go to the left side below, where you have your name below, you see where you have your name. Is everyone seeing my
Okay,
chat
thank you.
screen? Okay. And then go to settings here. Okay. So you see that. So first thing is if you think you want to start to use it, I recommend you upgrade to maybe one of the first tiers, maybe just the pro. But yeah, so turn that off so that way they're not training with your data. What else is here? Okay. So then let's go to security. Okay, some people might want to use this authentication, but doesn't really matter. There are different tiers of ChatGPT. There's the pro and there's the teams. You see the different layers of what you can do. If you want to start to use this, like if you have a team of say 5 people, I think the next tier after this is the teams, and you can do that. That offers even an additional layer of security where they will not train with your data. So if you're whatever layer you are, just turn that off first. And then next, we're going to go to personalizations next. So this is where you tell custom instructions. You tell the system, you check what the system knows about you. But before the custom instruction, let's go to manage here, memory. So you have the memory. So ChatGPT so you notice that conversations you've had before, it refers to it. That's part of the transformer architecture that now gives these computers like a short-term memory where they can remember conversations. So you could turn this on so you can continue to, and then you can reference your chat history. So you can turn this on for memory. And then before we start to do the personalization, maybe let's go to manage memories. If you click here, it will show you what it remembers about you, what it knows about you. And you can, I don't know, mine is a little bit, it used to be that you can just go and delete, but now it's kind of making me just delete all memories. I need to figure out what's going on. But if you look at yours, I don't know what you see. You should see like an X where you can, if there's something that's not true, that you don't want it to remember, you can just take it off. You can just delete it there. Because there are times when you just have a random chat that's not related to what you're trying to so you're trying to build a persona here. You're trying to build, so if you're a financial analyst, you can put it there and it will just put that into context on how to respond to you. So if you haven't, you can take that off. You can delete some if you don't find them. The next thing before we start to now train it on our persona, if you notice here, you can ask ChatGPT, like, I think that's number 6. I want to do that before we go back to number. So you can say, no, sorry, number 4. What are some things
Quick question.
yeah.
What if you have multiple personas, maybe 3, 4, 5 different activities? How do you separate them within the saved memories?
Okay, that's a good question. So that's why I'll show you, and I think I need to be quick, so we'll get there now. I'll show you how you can arrange, that's the organization part, so you can have projects, and then you can have custom GPTs. So, and I'll show you how that works. So, but for now, just think about main what is the main thing you wanted to know about you? And I had this issue too, because this account I have now is fairly new. I have an old account I've been using, but there's been lots of things that I've chatted about here and there. It wasn't organized, lots of things. So when I asked ChatGPT what he knows about me, it asks me, it just says different random things. So you can delete, like I showed, you can delete the memory, you can start over and delete the memory of what it knows about you, and you can start afresh. And then start to arrange them into projects. So you figure out which one works for you. So if, for instance, you can just ask ChatGPT right now, what are some things you 100% know about me? This is how you know if you need to start afresh. And it will you can type that, and that's how you start to know. So, and this is from the custom instructions, which we're going to do quickly. A lot of it's from the things that I chat about. So now if I have any side thing I'm chatting about that is not that's not the core of my business or my whatever I wanted to know, I just create a project on the side. So you see ChatGPT knows a lot about me. This particular, because I made it that way, it knows that I like to play tennis. Oh my God. It knows crazy things, some things I don't want it to keep, but it will just tell me. I think I asked earlier too. Okay, this I think no, this is a custom GPT. So it's answering from a custom GPT. I don't want it to answer from that. I want it to just answer generally, like from the GPT. Because I created a custom GPT. Okay. So I asked earlier and you can ask as well. So that way and then you can immediately say, oh no, forget that, forget this. And then you say, add this instead. And then it adds it to the memory. You notice sometimes when you put some prompt, it will just say, add into memory. So you can add that to the memory. So it will just say, here's what I know about you. It knows about the work that I do. I don't want you all to see stuff that it knows about me, but do that with your system. So that way you start to know, then you can go to the memories and delete some. And then the next thing will be, what are some assumptions? Because there's some assumptions. That means this is where you can correct ChatGPT, or you can add to it. And then it makes it true. And then the final one said, what don't you know about me? I thought that was very good. What don't you know about me? Identity and real world details I do not know. Daily life and constraints I don't see. How many hours you really have available each day. So now these are things you now need to feed it so that it can understand you better. Okay. Is everybody still here? So
Isn't that
that's how you
dangerous?
know what he knows about you.
Isn't that dangerous for ChatGPT to know everything about you?
Just what you wanted to know. Remember, you're building a persona, especially if you have a brand. And for instance, if you're going to be putting out content all the time. And well, I was about to say that it's not training with my data, but like I mentioned, there's some restrictions. Like if it's legal, they will still have access to your account. I don't think so. Just what you wanted to know. Like it doesn't know my full name, or it doesn't know. But these are things that I wanted to know so that it could tell. So like you see, there's some things. It's like these are things it doesn't know about me. Now it's asking me. I don't know your full name, your age, your birthday, or ID info. Now it's asking. So if I want to, I could, right? So, but I'm just feeding it with information that I think would be relevant to my work so that it can customize. Does that make sense? Okay. So we'll ask you some things. You don't need to provide that information. Okay, let's move on to now actually customizing the GPT. So that's personalization. What are the custom instructions that you want to give it? And you can just paste it here. I put some examples in that Google chat. So depending on...
Can you share some suggestions on customization instructions?
Yeah, if you look at number 3 in that Google chat, those are some examples. But then, okay, can you see my screen though?
Yes.
Okay. Just things I needed to be aware about. Be my ruthless witty strategist. It's 2025. Have a high priority of focusing on the most recent source of information. Because if I don't say that explicitly, it will just... Remember, it's predicting the next possible word. So it will just look for whatever is the first thing that it finds and feedback to me. Response rules, be critical. I want it to be critical. For some people, it might be don't be critical or be nice. Because remember, they have their system instructions. Like with Claude is supposed to be nice and very ethical. ChatGPT is like very laid back. So you can overwrite that with and tell it what you want. Take a forward thinking view. No flattery. Admit uncertainty. If you're not sure, don't just... That means I don't want it to hallucinate, like just go find some answers from anywhere. And then what's the style?
How about co-pilots? How is that judged?
How is it structured?
Yeah, how is that judged? What's the custom instructions or basically the co-pilot's own personality?
I think it's probably in the middle, professional. Probably in the middle. Oh, with Grok was specifically meant to... I think I remember seeing the system prompt was for it to be, yeah, it can be a little bit naughty and not as... Yeah, it can be a little bit naughty. That's part of the custom instructions for Grok. So definitely kids should not be using Grok. Chief AI officer. Okay. You can give it whatever your occupation is. It's not your friend. This is very official. So you're just giving it enough information that it needs to know. So now you can continue to say, here I'm saying, I'm now defining who I am. I'm an executive leader focusing on responsible AI. I publish thought leadership work. I'm on a health journey. I even tell it that I'm a Christian. And sometimes when I ask it to critique some documents, it will probably sometimes gives me some perspective about being a Christian. So this is the first step. Make sure these ones are turned on so it can continue to work on that. So that's the first step. But it will not take effect immediately. You have to continue chatting with it. It will probably take effect in like as you're consistent in about maybe like a month, you start to notice. You have to keep using it. So those are some quick customizations. Another thing you can do here is set, let me see if I can find what that is. Is set a schedule. That's like, so send daily AI news. You can set it schedule and it will send you. Okay, so let's get to the interesting part of, and if I go back to this, it's prompting. We all know about prompting, but I'll just go quickly. It should always have a role, because remember, the system is how to communicate. So what is the role? What do you want it to be? What's the outcome you're looking for? What are some context you want to give it? What constraints apply? And how should it look? So this is a good example. You're an experienced project manager coach. Help me create a 30-day onboarding plan for a new PM joining a remote team. Focus on relationship building and tool mastery. Use a weekly breakdown with 3 to 5 action items. You see that all of this, the prompt formula is incorporated in this. You're giving it a lot of context, where to look. And here's some high impact prompt recipes. I think if you that Google sheet has some example of prompts. So what how is it? Hold on, let me pull this up. How should we use this system? How should we prompt? Remember, I mentioned you plus AI. And for everybody here, we're all professionals. You're not outsourcing your main ideas to ChatGPT. So there has to be some things that you do with it. So brainstorming, you can use it to generate quick ideas. What are some you can ask just simply as you would ask? One interesting thing that I find now is a lot of the times I just dictate, like I don't have to type, which everybody must have found out. I don't have to type, so I just go straight. I just go straight and just talk, and it will just, you can just say, oh, generate some ideas. I'm starting this retail business, generate 5 ideas. So it can be an idea generator to brainstorm. You can use it to refine and improve your drafts. That's like a use case that I use every day. I get this writer's block all the time. So I'm not like, if I need to write an email, it's like, I just now, because I mean, I have my personal ChatGPT, or even at work, I just literally put my thoughts, no matter how rough my thought is. If I'm trying to send an email to someone, I just put it there and say, refine this, make this sound more collaborative or strategic, and it just refines it. That's the beauty. But then I go with a first draft. I'm not just saying create an email to tell this person. I have my first draft, and then he just picks it up and refines it. I do this all the time, even personally. If I don't want to type any long, I don't feel like typing, I'll just say, okay, how do I just type that and tap that, and I just paste it and I put there. So this is a very good use case. Challenge assumptions.
Yeah, sorry to cut you there, Timmy. Sorry, I lost you how you got this the prompts, where you got to the prompts part. How did you get there? I think I was distracted.
Let me see. Okay, so yeah, so here I started here with the prompt formula. And yeah, I started with the prompt formula, and what I was trying to say, the same way we have system prompts, we need to strategically prompt this systems.
No, I get everything you said.
Okay.
Like, how did you get here?
Oh, you mean here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are just ideas of what you can prompt for.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like somewhere, like one of the settings or something.
No.
Okay.
This is what you can prompt for. So you can use it to brainstorm, refine drafts, this challenge assumptions, explain concepts, and all this. But let's go to Okay,
Do
this
you
is
have
really interesting.
examples of each one of the prompt ideas
You'll find some examples in that
in the
but yeah, in
Google
that
document?
in the Google
Okay.
Doc. But I could share more. This one is very interesting. Reverse engineer the text prompt. So something I did lately, I was trying to recreate an image and we just make some changes here and there. And so it was like an original image, like maybe like in paper. So I just uploaded it to ChatGPT and I put this prompt. I wanted to recreate it. I'm like, reverse engineer the text prompt for this image so I can use it as a prompt to generate the same image. It's called meta prompting. So that means it took a look at the picture and gave me a prompt to recreate that image. So when I got that prompt, I put it back and then it recreated the exact image in its own way. And now I could tweak that prompt. I could tweak that image in the way that I wanted to. I thought that was very interesting. And you can do it not just with image, you can do this with the text. So now I'm going to show you what I now do. The systems are so sophisticated now that, to be honest, I actually don't really prompt. like I can just give it a framework, but I don't really prompt. The systems are so smart now that I just ask it to create a prompt for me for whatever it is that I want to do. And one thing that I've really been doing with that is the custom GPTs. So
So
custom
what's an example of creative prompt? What does that mean?
So you know how, like, let me go here. Yeah, you see this, you're an experienced project manager coach, right? This is a prompt. Prompt just means how you communicate to this system so it can give you the results that you want, right?
Okay.
So this is what I call a prompt. And there's an approach, there's a skill
But,
to it. You
but
have to,
if you tell it to create a prompt for you,
yes, yeah. But I tell you what I'm trying to do. I'm saying, I'm trying to do this. Okay, I'll show you examples. Create a prompt. Let me show you an example quickly. I'll just say, so create a prompt for me to do this. And so let me talk about custom GPT. And I'm going to tell it to create a prompt for this custom GPT. So it's just, you can do it within ChatGPT now. It's you, if you have repeated tasks that you repeat all the time, that you can create a custom GPT and you don't have to repeat those tasks. You just feed it, it will generate the results for you. So when I show you, I think you understand. And then you just save it once and it launches fast and it starts to do it. So we're going to create custom GPTs now and projects. Remember, we're trying to organize the workspace. We've customized the system to know who we are. So now we're going to also create project. The difference between projects, you're organizing the work, and then custom GPTs are for repeatable tasks. Let me show so that you see it. So here, if you look at my screen, I have currently 3 custom GPTs. Remember, I said it's for things you want to you repeatedly do. So let's see this transcription guru here. I created this. Okay, so here's one of the challenges I usually have. Whenever I want something like it's in paper form, I just want to. So literally, if you have a paper, you can just attach it to ChatGPT and say, transcribe this. I need to just write everything out for you. So instead of always coming here and just cluttering these lines, I created a custom GPT so that every time I'll just choose what I want to do. Okay, I'm trying to transcribe this PDF or as an handwritten note, and I just put it here and it will just transcribe it. So the way that I did that, let me edit this GPT, is the way they work you have this, you put a title, and then you put the instructions. You see the instructions here. How did I create the instruction? I didn't create the instruction myself. And then you see those 4 things you see here, you just put them here as conversation starters. So for me, now I just go to same ChatGPT and say, write me a prompt to create a custom GPT, and I tell it what I'm trying to do. And I just paste the prompt, and we can do it now. Let me see. I want to see if I still have the prompt. I'm not gonna do it here. I could do it. I'll just do it in a regular space. But if you look, let's take another example. I'll create one now. Let's create one together. So you see that file that I sent. Let's do the first one. Turn any talk that you have, like say this talk now. I can just get the transcript of this talk. If we upload it on YouTube, I can get a transcript of it, and then I'll put it in this custom GPT. It will turn it in. I can just say extract some wisdom nuggets that I can post on LinkedIn, and then I'll just post it on LinkedIn. So you see the first thing. So I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use this one. I'm just going to copy. I'm going to show you how I let ChatGPT create the prompt for me. So I'll just say, hey, create a prompt for me to create a custom GPT that turns talks, webinars, or blogs into LinkedIn posts, tweets, and email. But of course, because we're just doing a quick example, you can give it more context to suit whatever it is you're trying to do. Okay. Here's a drop-in prompt you can paste straight into a custom GPT's instructions field. I would put some context just based on the format. I can also do something like you are a lead social media expert, so that would make the prompt even better. So let me try this. This is another good method. What are the elements of let me go back. I want to see what I'm trying to do.
Hi, Timmy.
Hi.
Yeah, so does it create automatically the custom GPT on the left immediately you give it that instruction?
What do you mean on the left?
I mean, yeah, you showed the.
Oh, no. I'll have to copy this code and go put it in there.
Okay, so how do you create like a custom GPT?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So this is the prompt. Maybe we should just use this prompt, but I was trying to do a better one. But one way let me just show you this quickly. I'll have it create again. We'll see. I want to compare if it's the same. What are the elements of a great, you can start the conversation. What are the elements of a great, of a great social media post? So this is unrelated. So you can start with this. This allows it. So you just talk about what you're trying to create first. So this just kind of allows it like go deeper, like the neural networks, it goes deeper into neural. So once you do this first, it's kind of like warming it up or letting it think deeper. So what the next prompt I'm trying to have it do for me is about social media posts. So I first tell it what's a great post, and then now it's warmed up. Wherever it's gonna get the information, it will be somewhere along this line. So you're kind of leading it. So that's the first thing. And then just in the interest of time, but so I'm gonna copy this one. Some of them have like codes, like maybe some JSON codes in them. I want to make sure there's no JSON code because I wouldn't know where to post it. So I'll just specify no code. But okay, I think this looks good. So let me copy. I'll just copy. You see here, you can just copy the code. So now I'll go create the custom GPT instead of creating the prompt myself. But I could also create the prompt myself. This is just another way to, but I noticed the ones the system creates is more detailed and better. This ones that you have here in this examples, they're suitable for creating a custom GPT. It would just be super simple. So I'll go back here. If I think you only have access to projects and custom GPT if you're in the Pro.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you see GPT? So if you go to GPTs now, I'll go to Explore if I'm creating a new one, and then create GPT. So if I go here, I'll show the GPTs I've created before. So I can create this, and then I'll just give it a name, say social media post. Instruction, and then I just paste all the instructions. And then that's about it. And then you can put, so this you can also, once you're done creating this, other people can have access to this. There's like a GPT market where you can go look for GPTs that you like, that suit your purpose, and then you use it. But this, you can put that there. So I can go conversation starters, like what's the trigger? Maybe create a LinkedIn. This could be LinkedIn. And then another one could be Instagram. And that's it. And then you have that. And then do you want it to be able to also go do web searches, Canvas, image generation? And then I'll just click create. And so now every time I'll just take a transcript of that talk or whatever it is I'm trying to, but it's my content, stuff that I've produced in the past, and then so now if I save it, it's going to create and then also post it. So if I share this link now, anybody will be able to access it. So let's view the GPT. I want to quickly make sure we can create projects. But if you go to the GPT now, all you have to do is, it will stay here, it will live here. Now I have it here. And if I just come here, I can just upload a transcript and say, create 20 social LinkedIn posts about this topic. So it will just go and then create it. And then you can you can put some attachments of your post. But I'm going to take questions soon, but let me just quickly create a project because I know we're almost out of time. So this is projects. I like project. I'll show you examples of projects that I have. I like project because you can organize it. Like this is AI education. This is for one of my companies. So you can organize things. And the good thing with projects is, so this is AI education. You can attach different files. So this is where we are augmenting the context of where the GPT gets its information from, customizing it to suit you. So this particular, let me show you, this one was like, this is one of my business, and I've attached, this attachment is like a business plan, like a very detailed business plan about this. So this is the business plan. I can attach so many other things, my vision. I can attach slide decks about the project. But inside of this So once you attach it, it's restricted to this. You're streamlining it. So if you have different projects that you're working on, you can separate the projects, and you just come here and you can have a couple of chats on that project, and it will refer to all of those documents that you augment it with. So that kind of keeps things organized. When let me pause. Let me show how to create a project. I don't know if you see it if you don't have Pro. This is just Pro.
No, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay, if you can
I
see
don't have
that.
Pro and I can see it, yeah.
Okay, so you see new project. You just give it a name, let's say investment, and then create project. So it will ask you, you can say whatever it's about, create projects, and then now you can add as many files as you want. And you can actually also link this. So you can link this to your Google Drive, and there are other connectors. So if you come to settings, this apps and connectors. So these are some of the different apps you can connect for now. I know you can connect your Dropbox, Google Calendar, Google Drive. You can connect it directly here and exchange data. So that means once you connect it, you can just drag your files and attach them. So I'll recommend you have like a naming convention for your projects. The naming convention should match the same what you have in your Google Drive, so it's easy to integrate. So these are some of the ways that we use that you can organize and arrange.
How are you able to open up the additional dialog box for the options, like to get the connectors for
Also,
the
the connector.
investments?
Oh, for the investment. Okay, let me go back.
No, after creating it, I thought you open up a dialog box.
Yes. I'm in investment right now.
Right.
So you can add files here.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it will just take you to, if you have it on your desktop, you just put it here. So you can add multiple files. So I really love projects because you can just continue, like if you have an ongoing project, you can just continue conversations around that and continue to use it. And I think there was one interesting use case. Let me see, talk summary.
So assuming you want to sit for a certification, project management certification, you
yes.
can create a project around that and tell it to give you questions and answers or materials. Yeah. Okay.
Or you can even you can, and then for that, I think you can even create a custom GPT for that one. Or yeah, project also works. I think project works because you can attach the documents and it will pull from there and ask you questions. Yeah. So the use cases are endless, just depending on what you're trying to make easy, what you're trying, like some of the tasks that are like a burden or repetitive for you will be different for everybody. You can
Anything on
leverage.
Excel?
Sorry?
Anything on Excel analysis?
Well, there's a good tool called Airtable. But that one, okay, you might want to use Claude for that one. So with Airtable, okay, and let's come back to that. Let me see. So you can use Airtable. Airtable is a super, super good tool. And you can integrate it with Claude. Claude is very good for integrations. You can have there are lots of APIs that you can integrate with Claude. Here, I know ChatGPT is also very good for Excel and analysis. With these connectors, you can attach your Excels, and I think that could help as well. But if you want to just directly go into Airtable, I think that works too. Let's see if other people have questions. I know we're out of time. Let's see if other people have questions. I shared some tools in that sheet on the bottom. I was gonna go through but I shared some tools down below that you all can check. There's some links there. This presentation, I used Gamma to do it. I think I've talked about this. It's a very good tool where, again, as professionals, I'm not looking to, you can use it in different ways. I'm not looking to go to Gamma and say, create a PowerPoint for me for this topic. No, I already have my content. And what I did was I had the content and I just put in ChatGPT and said, create a prompt for Gamma. Prompt just simply means the way that this tool will understand. And I was like, okay, so this is the content. Create a prompt for Gamma, make it a 20 or 15-page slide that I can post, a 15-page slide, and I want it to be so style, more pictures, less words, put the words in a note. And then I copy and paste that prompt on Gamma, and it just generates this, and I don't have to type anything. Of course, just make some tweaks. Like I added some of these images, and it just does that in 1 minute. And yeah, so that's how I would recommend that you use it. You can also just go there and say, just create me a slide about this, and it will actually do that as well. So I share some, this is also a very great tool to, it's not opening up. Let me see. But I want to get some feedback from folks. Is there something you'd like for me to touch on, something you'd like to hear?
Yeah, Tammy, thank you so much for the time so far. I really appreciate it. I'm quite familiar with GPT, but not very explorative. So, having it to have my own GPTs, was a great one. I'm quite familiar with projects. I like it too, but there were so many other things that you touched on, like having to give it my own prompts. And I would say prompt is like an instruction. The instructions I like to be using, right? So having to create my own GPT to make the work automated, I think it's a great one. I also wanted to ask about, so sometimes when using GPT, especially in the project, does it get to a point where the project becomes overloaded, and then it's supposed to generate, like sometimes it generates something for me and he says, hey, do you want it in PDF? Do you want it in Excel? Do you want it in Word? And I say, okay, give me in Excel. And then he just like forever and ever thinking and like just having errors. So I observed recently that I had to go to like a new chat. I think that project was overloaded, I'm guessing. I don't know if you're more professional than me, so I don't know
I
if
think
what you
I think
say
I've
to that.
experienced that as well. And what I do is there is a memory part. Timmy, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a memory part of it. I need to delete some things. I need to delete maybe
Mhm.
past projects and all that. And when I delete it, it's as though it refreshes the memory. So
Okay.
I've experienced that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I also wanted to know that. And then also I also wanted to ask, can 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 I customize one that would like create that would be majorly focused on just diagrams, like charts, like yeah, charts, or histogram. All of those things. Is that a possibility?
Yeah. So it depends on what type of like see, this one is a this is a custom GPT for just story characters. That's where, remember that picture in the beginning? That's where it generated that picture for me. So yes, you can have, depending on what character you want, what types you want, you can have a custom GPT. And once you can just sometimes put a picture here, or you can attach a picture or not even attach a picture, and it will customize it. So you can. And the way that you can do that too is either if you know the prompt, like let me show you the prompt for this one. The prompt for this one, because once you get here, you can just see the prompt about edit GPT. So you see your character scene prompt GPT, an assistant that instantly turns the user's idea into a single ready-to-use image prompt. This was a very simple one. So you can, I don't know what type of images you're trying to do, you can just customize it. And you can tell ChatGPT to create the prompt for you. If you assign a role, use some of those strategies that I talked about. So ChatGPT can create the prompt, and then you just paste it here. It's endless. The use cases are endless. Lately, I just think about something. I'm like, okay, are you creating like 5 minutes? I'm like, okay, I think I can make this. I do this all the time. So I think I can just make this. This is I already showed you the transcription guru. And then this is a lead magnet one where you're trying to create a lead magnet and just send out emails. You can have that. And here you just have to put the idea. The good thing is when you create this, when ChatGPT creates the prompts for you, it also gives you a user instruction, like how the user should prompt it. What are the examples of what the user should be prompting it? So you get a sense of how to get the right. It's all about being strategic and get the right outputs from the computer. So that's the last one. I think we're totally out of time. I had one more slide to share about. I think I.
Sorry,
Timmy.
one more thing, Timmy.
Yeah, I think we're out of time. Yeah.
Must we be in thinking when we're creating the new GPT?
No, you don't have to be in thinking. To be honest, thinking is slow.
Yeah, I know.
So it can actually be anywhere. To be honest, I don't know. I just like thinking because.
But thinking, I think it gives like more details, like more depth.
Yeah, so thinking just means it's going deeper into those neural networks to.
Okay.
Think about, yeah, but you can really so sometimes I'm like, I just say, please be quick, or just stop it and make it quick.
Timmy.
Yeah.
I wanted to, there was a question, was it Olufemi, you asked a question about when ChatGPT gives you an error at the end. Did you mention that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wanted to add there that the large language models work with something called tokens. And like tokens is like the currency of AI. Now, when you put in something, when you put in a text and it responds to you, it's taken into that token, right? So as you go on, it begins to forget some of the memory you had put in maybe earlier. And then when it reaches the end, your chat ends and your token is finished. So you have to go recreate another chat before, when it's done. So before it gets to that end point, I asked ChatGPT to, create a prompt for me to continue this conversation in another.
Makes sense. Yeah. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask. Thank you.
And I wonder if that also depends on the level. Do you use like a free?
No, I don't use free.
Pro.
In fact, that's true. I use the paid one, and it's been a while because I've seen that orange prompts come up because they've really developed since they have longer chats now. Even Claude. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Lauren, you have a question. Your hands are raised.
Yeah, mine is pretty quick. I haven't used Claude yet, but I'm wondering, once we have the contents for a presentation, is there an AI tool that can actually create the images for the presentation or take the content that I have and put it in Excel? without it taking this long loaded and information that's chopped off and stuff like that? Is there a good tool for that?
Do you mean Excel, or if it's a presentation, do you mean Excel
Yeah.
or
Like for
PowerPoint?
instance, if I ask a prompt or ask a question of ChatGPT, it's going to give me an outline of what's needed. I
Yeah.
want to put that into, let's say, 10 slides. Is there a good AI tool that creates basically a PowerPoint presentation based upon the content?
Well, you can create a custom GPT to do that.
It's
And you
been
can
looking.
also, yeah, you can create a custom GPT. I think I'll create one and I'll share with you, Laura, because I was also thinking about that because I do that all the time. And so, but one thing, but you can do that on ChatGPT, right? So whatever you can, because again, ChatGPT can do everything. You just have to then customize for the things that you do repeatedly. So what I do is if I already have my direction, it turns the content, ChatGPT can turn the content into slides. Like it breaks it down into slides,
That's what
which
I've
is
had a problem with. And I've used Slide Speak in order to integrate two slides that I created. But for me to even create a presentation that typically the images and stuff takes about an hour and a half, where if it's something that's
mm-mm.
pumping out pretty quickly, yeah.
Have you
Yeah, and
tried?
I talked about this tool. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was going to ask if you have tried Gamma. Is that what you were going to?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I talked about this tool.
Emma?
Yeah, I talked about this is what I use like for this, right? And
Yeah, that's yeah.
so it will put images for you. But you may not like the images, and it can always reiterate. But the process was I created the like I asked it to I had my content and then I asked ChatGPT to create it in form of as a presentation. I specified like a 20, no, first of all, it put it in a 20-page presentation. And then I was like, okay, reduce it to 10 and then put it in 10. And then I asked ChatGPT, so this is create a prompt for Gamma because it's familiar with Gamma. Create a prompt to put this in Gamma. Because with Gamma, here's how it works. There are different options. You can either, let me start from the beginning. You can just, let me close this.
Yeah, that looks
So
better than like
this,
Canva.
I really like this. So you can either generate from and just say, oh, but if you have your content, this is where you go.
Okay.
And then you just paste that whole prompt from ChatGPT. But what I'm saying to you is you can create a custom GPT. What
I
I just
appreciate
said. Yeah. So just go there and just say, I need can you create a prompt for a custom GPT that can create slides so that every time you have your content, you just go to the custom GPT and put it, and then it just turns it into PowerPoint a prompt for a PowerPoint, and then you can come put it here. This is a very good tool. It will let you do just 10 pages if it's free, but if
Yep.
you upgrade for like $10 per month, it will let you do 20 pages.
And it'll make sure all the alignment of frames and stuff like that that it's solid.
Yes,
Then
very solid. Like this one, where's the one that I was working on? It will be, yeah, very solid. It will,
okay.
and the prompt also will say this one goes to slide 1, this one goes to slide 2. It's seamless and it just takes like 5 minutes and you have it. So
Oh,
I know some of these tips might seem small, but these are ways I would make a list of things that take me time, tasks that I spend a lot of time doing.
hmm.
I'll make a list of them and try to start to transition them to having this AI tools do them, have your custom GPT, have them take over the task, and then you can focus on tasks that are important, like ideation, coming up with ideas. And one other use case, especially for people that are doing a lot of content, is like this transcription. Sorry, this lead magnet guru is really good. You can create a custom GPT to turn your if you refine this one very well, it can create like 30 posts for you based on what you have, your content. So just note that I'm not saying you don't want it to just, you don't want to give it a topic and have it create content for you. You should have your own content that you're trying to augment. And so that would be the goal there. And so if you have all of these posts, there are agents and systems. I will probably post some of those tools where you can then automate this post. So maybe once in a month, you can just automate that. You can just stack them up and it will just go. You don't have to, you can just be sending LinkedIn posts where you can say every morning at 8 a.m. just send out this post. So you already have them lined up and then you can go from there. The last thing I wanted to share, very lastly, I'll be fast, is I talked about your speech AI. This is something big now. I don't know if it's unfortunately a lot of the content. I hadn't realized that so many of the contents we see on social media lately most of them are AI generated. And so there's just to create that awareness, there's a lot of one of the dangers of generative AI is misinformation. But you can also, there are two sides of it. You can also use this speech tool to multiply, just kind of multiply your voice, even if you're not there. It can just go ahead and do stuff for you. So yeah, some of the use cases, text to speech, you'll notice you can do all of that with ChatGPT, right? Speech to speech, voice cloning, dub and translate. For people that are trying to put content out, this one thing that I did, I was just playing with it. Before we had this, right just before this today, I think, yeah, our executive assistant reached out, was like, oh, Tammy, please do a video for just to market this event. And in my mind, I was like, that is not happening, because I know that I'm going to spend the next 2 days trying to make that video perfect. And so I was like, okay, what are some workarounds? It's not perfect, but I can tell you that this just blew my mind. The rates at which the systems or these tools are improving, it's like astronomical. Every single day, something new comes up. It wasn't perfect. You can tell that is generated, but just the idea behind it and where these tools are going in the next, I'm pretty sure in the next 1 year, this will be perfected. So this is one video. So let me, I don't know, I don't need to play the video, but it was just very realistic. And what I did, this is a very great, reliable tool for avatars, creating your avatar and having an avatar, like your digital twin, having your avatar. So the first thing I did was
Hygiene has speech to text to speech, or
no, this is just, so Agent doesn't. Agent just has avatars and I think speech, but there are other tools that do. So this was just generally talking about the speech AI technology, the voice technology. But 11 Labs, which is, this one has all of it. It has speech to text, it has dubbing. So this 11 Labs has everything. So, but what I do for me, what I've done is I use 11 Labs to clone my voice. So I don't know if I've said this before. We have to be really, really careful, right? That we're using like established platforms for a lot of these things. And if you're using any free service, they're definitely training with your data. I think 11 Labs is so for all the safety checks that I did, I do them for every tool that I'm using. I check their data policy, their data retention policy. So for 11 Labs is a very established platform, and I like that they validate that it's your voice, because a lot of the misinformation that you see people using, you can actually use people's voices, especially famous people. So, but I think this is a good platform. So what I just did, I used this to have a clone my voice just because the quality was better. So you want to upgrade, you can't do that with a free version. So it's a lot to do. You have to upload like a lot of, maybe like 2 hours of you speaking, so I just recorded the voice. I had the voice clone here, and then integrate. Because I like the avatars from Agen, and so I integrated. So you can also integrate 11 Labs using the APIs, the 11 Labs APIs. You can copy your API and integrate it into Agen. So if you wanted to let's just create a quick. If you want to create, let me show this one again. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So the thing that blew my mind was this was just a picture, like a picture. It wasn't a video, it was a picture. And I don't know if I was just mind blown. Like, how can a picture do this? I was mind blown because of the voice. The lip sync was just perfect. So let me play. Join me this Saturday. Get your evenings. I know it still looks fake, but you can just imagine what this is going to become in the next couple of months. And so that was a video, and let me show you how I created it. There's something
Timmy,
called.
I'm not sure if you're aware we are far gone
Oh
past the
yeah, I
time.
know we're far gone.
Because we're
I
enjoying
know I'm
this,
going,
but
I'm
I
going,
just
I'm
need
going.
to call
Okay,
you
let
back.
me stop. So they're different. Okay, just give me 2 minutes and an hour. But folks are still on the call, so I figure, I'm sorry. So yes, you can look through. I think it was something in this lines, one of this, just put your photo and it will and then you can use any other voice. It doesn't have to be your voice. But if you have to integrate your voice, you can use 11 Labs or Agen. I put these links on the Google Docs. So voice can be a good way to elevate so you can have this just go, like you don't have to go through the stress of recording and stuff. There's so many use cases for using your voice to maybe talk about your products, to talk, or maybe to do some video tutorials about your product. So that's it. I hope you all have been able to take away one or two things from this, and you have the Google Docs. I really appreciate you all taking your time out this Saturday evening. And most importantly, please experiment with some of these things that I showed you. I know that these systems now can help you with prompting, and just kind of teach you how to prompt too. And just be careful as you use these links. Make sure you're using them safely. Any questions? And yeah. So for me, I'm so excited to see you on the call.
Is it my for me?
Yes.
I'm excited too.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Divine, Chichi, do you guys have anything to add?
I just wanted to say thank you to you. I think I wish we had a part two so that we could have had more time, but this is very interactive and very informative as well. Thank you, Tammy, and looking forward to us, to the Agile Disciples, as we round off the year in a big way. sometime in December for the events. And thank you, everybody, for staying this long. Thank you, Timmy. Over back to you, Tim.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Have a good evening.
Thank you.